We are live, everybody. So in the world today, we need to think about how violent and inappropriate the things we grew up saying are. And we must replace them with wiser nomenclature for gender or violent imagery. Like we no longer kill two birds with one stone, we feed two birds with one worm. We don't pull the trigger on a plan, we press the button. So let's be safe out there and stomp the crap out of this show.
Since 2020, we've done plenty of virtual comedy shows online. And though the virus is slowing, we'll keep going because we've still got lots of hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin.
Hello, and welcome to Virtual Comedy Show. Here are some etiquette guidelines for Virtual Comedy Show. Please arrive 15 minutes early. Please be quiet, except for laughing. We've been a Zoom meeting civilization for 2.5 dang years. You know the drill. Just be polite. We would like to see your face as part of the audience. Let's be social, not just distant. So, get comfortable, plan to laugh, but not heckle, and let's make our semi-quarantine world a bit more normal for a little while. Thanks, and enjoy the Virtual Comedy Show.
It's the Virtual Comedy Show, starring Brad Tassell and Steve Goodie. Tonight, Brad and Steve welcome comedian Patti Vasquez, plus 20 songs from John Trentes, and a patty melt from, well, we really don't know, and much, much more. Now, please welcome Brad Tassell.
Welcome, everybody, to the Virtual Comedy Show. I'm Brad Tassell, and this is what I consider the news. Mikhail Gorbachev passed away this week, answering the question, how the hell was Mikhail Gorbachev still alive? Gorbachev was the Soviet leader who took down the Iron Curtain and helped us all be better at talking to people without staring at that weird thing on their head. Wait for laughter. All right. Hey, next up, Democrat Mary Peltola beat Sarah Palin in the Alaska special election to be the first Alaskan native in Congress. In a statement, "My work is done. I can finally go into the light," said the ghost of John McCain. That's right. He turned over in his grave. Next up, President Biden did a horrible thing and used facts as he demanded assault rifles be banned like they were in 1994. The ban saw mass shootings with the weapons drop faster than Bill Clinton's pants at a Victoria's Secret fundraiser. In 2004, Republicans let the law lapse, and mass shootings shot up by 3 times. A majority of Americans and most law enforcement support a ban, but the GOP says these weapons are important because with inflation, their supporters can't afford Viagra and have nothing to do with their hands. I'm not sure what that even means. But it seems dirty, doesn't it? One more joke, and then we'll go to the weather. Chris Rock is getting figuratively slapped all over social media because on stage a few nights ago, he compared getting hit across the face by Will Smith to Nicole Brown Simpson being violently murdered by the unknown killer that OJ is still seeking on golf courses all over Florida. Twitter attacked Rock for his horrible exaggeration, some saying the joke was a bigger bomb than Hiroshima, without realizing the offensive irony. That's right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special treat. I'm going to go to the weather with Joe Marlotti.
Hi everybody, we've got a lot of you guys in the mask. We have to wear a mask on aboard the comedy club ships that we're on right now. So here we go. All right. Anyway, sorry. I was looking and the was just coming around for the sun of the house.
And now back to me. Thank you, Joe Marlotti. When he said we, he didn't mean me. Next up, 3 drunk Russian soldiers were shot by Putin's Federal Security Service in the southern Ukraine for being drunk in uniform. Oddly, drunk in uniform in Russia is usually called Tuesday. Because they're always drunk. All right. Republicans are saying Joe Biden is trying to buy votes when he fulfilled a campaign promise to forgive college loans for low-income and struggling Americans. How dare he, said a conservative talk show host. What's next? Money for old people when they retire? Then he shook a fist. Next up, I think it's going well. A gang of thieves broke into a marijuana dispensary in Missouri and stole large amounts of cash. They used the money to buy pot. The gang's leader said, "That was poor planning on my part." The owner of the dispensary said, "Bummer, dude." I look good with a mustache. It has been over a month since the Mega Millions lottery sold a ticket that will net the winner almost $1.34 billion, but no one has yet claimed the prize. Don't wait too long, say officials, because with rising inflation, soon the cash-out option will be replaced with a 2019 Subaru Outback. That's all you'll get. Last week, Joe Biden had a private fundraiser where he referred to Republicans as semi-fascist. Republicans have responded strongly. That is deplorable. We have been fully fascist for at least 6 months now. I don't mind the silence. It's the 25th anniversary of the death of Princess Diana. This will be commemorated by the royal family by whistling and looking around uncomfortably. I'm going to do that more. All right. Singer Debbie Gibson is 52, which is 163 in pop music years. Britney Spears, someone's going to like this. Britney Spears has a new hit single with Sir Elton John. The singer also has been posting very strange and sometimes unstable videos. Her fans are worried, and many have asked if perhaps Britney needs some sort of conservatorship over her affairs. What's her father doing? Joe Marlotti wrote that joke. Studies are showing that looking at blue light, meaning your computer and phone screens, is causing people to age at an accelerated rate. Poppycock! These little whippersnappers don't know bupkis, said 12-year-old Timmy. That's my favorite joke. The James Webb Telescope and the Hubble Telescope have joined forces to take new photos of what happens to be and appears to be the Phantom Galaxy. In time, they hope to be able to get close enough to remove the galaxy's mask and show it's really old Farmer Johnson trying to scare away those pesky black holes. Also a Joe Marlotti. I give credit where credit is due, and I think it'll make me look better. A woman called 911 on her smartwatch after getting stuck upside down on exercise equipment at the gym. When police arrived, the woman was helped down, and the watch pretended not to know her. I like that one. That was mine. We're almost done, folks. Several live lizards were wrongly delivered to a residence in Port Chester, New York. The homeowners said, "We expected a package from Amazon, not from the Amazon." The mistake was quickly rectified when the lizards were forwarded to Grubhub. I think we're getting to the last one. This is the last one. And my favorite. DC Comics tried to commemorate Hispanic Heritage Month by putting stereotypical Latin foods on its cover. Fans found it offensive and cliche. Minority groups have asked that maybe DC suspend publishing anything in February and June. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Virtual Comedy Show. Next up, it's Steve with the top 10 list.
Let's hear it for Brad. That felt unnaturally natural, how well he did that. As if he could hear us laughing and not feeling like he was sitting in a vacuum. That was great. All right, and as he said, it is time for the top 10. If you've just joined us, it's an odd night here at the I almost said the Bluebird. It's an odd night here at the Virtual Comedy Show. Wow. Because our headliner is our very own Patti Vasquez, so we don't know what's going to happen when it comes time for the Patty Melt. It's just crazy. But for the moment, things are fairly normal. Let's do the top 10 thing. That's right. And as you may have noticed, if you've been watching our show recently in the past month, or pretty much any show we've ever done, it's always a crapshoot whether things are going to go right. Things go crazily wrong all the time, whether it's due to Zoom weirdness, or people not muting themselves when they should, or perhaps the fact that Brad and I are in Scotland and it's at 2 a.m. when it's 8 o'clock for you guys. And everybody's just all nuts. So tonight's category is Top 10 Ways the Virtual Comedy Show gets screwed up. Let's start, shall we? Yes, let's. Number 10. Brad's on-ship Wi-Fi has the username Gilligan and the password, "This ain't gonna work 99, hashtag Bermuda Triangle / you didn't have any punchlines anyway." Number 9. Brad and Steve each book a headliner. On Thursday, they realize they've double booked, both cancel. It's happened more times than you know. Number 8. Patti realizes she doesn't need this crap anymore.
Oops.
Number 7. Brad and Steve go to Scotland and kill each other.
Ooh.
It's a lot of oohs. All right. Number 6. Chantal buys herself another laptop from www.audioschmadio.com. You had to be here last week or whatever that was. That was pretty funny.
2 weeks ago.
Right. Number 5. Steve writes a top 10 list about how this show gets screwed up, and right around number 5, he realizes that this is number 5 right now, and he forgot to write number 5, and he also forgot to put on pants. And he said that one a little too fast. Number 4. The FBI raids us, and though they leave the 100 boxes of stolen classified documents, they do take our one decent joke. I screwed that up. Number 3. We lose the rights to the Thursday song and have to start broadcasting at 4 a.m. on Sundays. Frustrating. These are the top 10 ways the Virtual Comedy Show gets screwed up. Number 2. Janice knits a TARDIS and takes herself and the audience into a dimension where the Trump administration and Fox News are in jail and everyone around the world is vaccinated and we're using 100% sustainable energy and we all realize that everything is swell and we don't need comedy anymore.
That would never happen. I'm not that good.
And the number 1 way the Virtual Comedy Show gets screwed up, it goes as planned. And that's all I got to say about that. That was fun. And now, thank you very much. Let's bring John Trentes into this. How do I add him? I can't find the add thing. Oh, this is great. I didn't try adding before. I know it's here somewhere, but I don't see add. Okay, this should have made the list. This is going to be a very long list. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make him the spotlight. I'm going to remove myself. Hey, everybody, it's John.
Hey.
Let's do the intro thing.
It's our musical guest. Our musical guest. Gonna sing something funny and then Steve will play something in between. Our musical guest. Our musical guest. It's time for our musical guest.
John Trentes.
Hey, everybody, I'm John Trentes coming at you from the
Jehovah's Witness Protection Program. Oddly, that's my real name.
That is odd.
Oops.
Okay, let's see. We're going to play a song for you here. And wait a minute. Where did I put my lyric sheet? Oh, here it is.
Win.
Honey, why do we have a report on the sex life of the president of France?
Oh, it came in the mail. I have no idea.
Okay, well, anyway, we got it. I'll just go from memory. Smells like whiskey and Willie in here. Couldn't tell you the number of this beer. Is that you calling on the phone to yell at me to come on home? I'll do the drinking. You got the problem. Barely made it through another working day. So I stopped to celebrate along the way. Every man needs a vice, and I don't need your advice. I'll do the drinking. You got the problem. I know what you're thinking. You don't like it when I'm drinking, but a beer or 7 ain't exactly a crime. Don't need no intervention, and it's time I mentioned I can give it up if I want. I've done it many times. They got Walker, Daniels, and Shine. Lots of vodka, rum, tequila, and wine. You don't have to make amends, cause the fun never ends. I'll do the drinking. You got the problem. I know what you're thinking. You don't like it when I'm drinking, but a beer or 7 ain't exactly a crime. Don't need no intervention, and it's high time I mentioned I can give it up if I want. I've done it many times. By the time I finally stagger home, I'll remember you're gone and I'm alone, and tell myself that it's okay, you weren't no fun anyway. I'll do the drinking. You got the problem. I'll do the drinking. You got the problem. I'll do the drinking. You got the problem.
Yeah. John Trentes being awesome. See, that's why we bring him, because he brings the awesome.
Yes,
As you guys know, probably, the way we do this, John sings a song. I got to sing a song that answers that somehow without having had any idea what John was going to do. I had a feeling, though, that the one I've chosen, I did choose in advance because John and I wrote it together. So there's got to be a way to tack that in. There's your connection right there. I don't have to do no more than that. That's perfectly fine. Also, I did a house concert in Memphis this past Saturday, and my host, one of my hosts, Doug, he requested a song, and I was unable to do it because I couldn't remember the lyrics. Well, I got them in front of me now. As you may recall, I think it was back in 2015 or 16, a certain United Airlines passenger was booted off the plane against his will just because they'd overbooked it. Here's a little song we wrote about that. Well, I checked my bags for $100. Let the TSA look up my butt. Ran to my gate just in time to board. The lady scanned my boarding pass. I stumbled down the ramp through first class to my seat in coach. That's all I could afford. But they said, sir, you'll have to leave. We're overbooked. We need your seat. Come on, be a sport. Someone's gotta go. I said, hell no! So I got beaten on a jet plane, dragged down the aisle to baggage claim. Hope someone caught it on video. At first I thought they must be joking, wondered what the hell they're smoking, and did they bring enough for all of us? Yes, but unfortunately the cockpit door is locked. Then United called its special ops to overrated rental cops. But I paid my fare, I'm not gonna budge. But then the captain said, you're out of luck, we're overbooked, so you're just gonna have to leave. Grab your Cinnabon, it's time to go. One more time. So I got beaten on a jet plane. Now everybody knows my name. I have to scroll down. And the lawyers are blowing up my phone. 'Cause I got beaten on a jet plane. Got one badass insurance claim. Now I'm United's new CEO. Thank you, very good.
Yeah.
And now, thank you very much. Thank you, Doug Green, for requesting it. And now, back to our friend John Trentes for one more hilarious song.
Yeah. Make sure. Oh, just so you know, I've got a bunch of studio versions of the songs that I have, including some of the ones you heard tonight. You can find it at www.trentes.com. That's Trent with an ES.com.
And that's fine because he declassified that address. It's perfectly fine.
That's correct. Yeah, as soon as I walk out of my office, it's declassified.
And I'm your special master.
Songs, no, I'm not into that, Steve. Sorry.
That's what you keep saying.
Well, since we're on the theme of songs that Steve and I wrote together, this is one that Steve and I wrote together, and it actually got placed in a movie, which is now in post-production. Where it's been in post-production for the last 5 years.
It's been at it so long, I forgot about it. Wow.
You know, I'm starting to think I'm giving up the faith here, but at any rate, this is a song about cockroaches, and it's not La Cucaracha. This is the other song about cockroaches. This is called Nobody Loves the Roach. In your kitchen in the middle of the night, better think twice before you turn on the light. We don't mean no harm, we don't want to offend me and 700 of my closest friends. Nobody loves the roach. Nobody loves the roach. Don't stop on me, man, let me be. Nobody loves the roach. Shoulda done dishes, but you left them in a pile, getting kind of furry for quite a long while. All that crap that you meant to throw away, to me and my friends, it's Thanksgiving Day. Nobody loves the roach. Nobody loves the roach. Don't stop on me, man, let me be. Nobody loves the roach. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Humming, nobody loves the roach. Nobody loves the roach. Don't stop on me, man, let me be. Nobody loves the roach. We were here when you were up in the trees. We'll still be around long after you leave. You're top of the food chain, we're at the bottom. Don't stomp the roaches, smoke them if you got them. Nobody loves the roach. Nobody loves the roach. Don't stop on me, man, let me be. Nobody loves the roach. Everybody out of sync. Nobody loves the roach.
Kevin and Liz
Nobody loves the roach. Don't stop on me, man, let me be. Nobody loves the roach.
Yeah!
That was a cute
That's
song.
a lot of fun. And you know, I've never heard you or I sing that song knowing that there's an extermination company watching the show, but Kevin and Liz. What's the name of the company
The
again?
problem is, Steve,
Kevin, I
now
think
I
we're out
have
of-
to forget I heard it because it's, SCI top secret stuff. So I got to walk out the room, forget that I even heard this song.
Oh, it's more of a guideline. It's like an overdue library book.
That's right. And what's the name of your company again, Kevin?
A-Alert Exterminating Service.
A-Alert Exterminating Services for all of your pest control needs in the Chicagoland area.
We
Thank
don't
you,
like
John.
the rush, man. Sorry.
We really should make you a sponsor, Kevin, because you and Liz have been supporting this show with your presence and with your funds for many, many, many months, and we really appreciate it. So I'm happy to plug you, and I like to take credit for having John do that song.
Thank you, guys.
John, we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for being here. Everybody go find him at Trentes.com. Are you playing live somewhere in Nashville that we can go see you?
Here.
Right there. Excellent. Well, we'll be right over. All right. One more time for John, everybody.
Woo, John!
All right. And hey, guess what? It is time for our headliner. And as you know, tonight's an odd show because normally our melty friend Patti would be melting, but tonight she's headlining for us. It's crazy. You can't do that. So let's do the opening thing, and then Patty's going to go nuts for 10 minutes. Here we go.
It's time for our big headliner. Got some funny jokes to say. Oh, do a 10-minute set headliner. Man, I'm so glad that it's Thursday. Yeah.
Patti Vasquez.
Hello. I have fun. Look, I heard the top 10 and what you said about how I realize I don't need this anymore. And I'll tell you something. I am willing to put up with the eye roll from my 19-year-old son when I told him I had to step out of the restaurant. He's like, I am willing to endure that. And look, I love being with you guys every week. And I feel like you guys have a different impression of me. It's very, very wildly different than what everybody else thinks about me. Because I have to be honest, throughout my life, I know that I've gotten under people's skin, that I bug them, that they roll their eyes the same way my 19-year-old son does. So here's the thing. I was thinking about this. When I was a kid, there was a huge ad campaign for 7-Eleven. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was like how when the bank is closed, you can still go to 7-Eleven. When you didn't turn in your videos on time, you can still go to the 7-Eleven. If you are waiting in the long line, you can still go to the 7-Eleven because they're open 24/7. And when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I became obsessed with the fact that 7-Eleven had locks on their doors. And it bugged me. So when I was about 10 years old, I got enough courage to go up to the poor person standing behind the counter and go, so what time are you guys open till? And they're like, we don't close. And I was like, but what time do you close? Like close the doors? And he's like, no, we don't close. I'm like, then why do you have locks on the door? And I would go to every 7-Eleven and ask these poor people why they had locks on the door if they were open 24/7. And it really bothered me for a long time until I turned 15 and I started working in retail. And I started working with customers, and I understood why there were locks on the doors at 7-Eleven. They might not have technically closed, but those doors were getting locked every once in a while. And the one time I really realized it, I used to work at a Radio Shack, and people hated giving me their zip codes. I don't know if you guys remember this, but we always had to ask you for the zip codes, and people would get angry at me and yell. And if I was in the store by myself, I would need a couple minutes of locking that door and sitting behind the counter like nobody is there. Like it is Halloween and I don't have any candy. That's what I was like. Yep. I worked in retail first. I had so many different jobs. And a lot of the places, like I worked at Farmore for 2 hours and 45 minutes. And here's why. It's the shortest job I ever had. I was a cashier. I'm left-handed. I'm trying to move this stuff on the conveyor belt. And this is before we had scanners. So I'm typing all the numbers in with my right hand and moving things with my left hand. And I kind of pause and I'm not getting the numbers right. So I decided to switch hands. So I have them cross-armed, and the manager came over who was training me, and she started slapping my hand. What? So I said, excuse me, can you tell me where the restroom is? And she told me where the restroom was, and I walked out the front door because I should just, here's my point. Oh yeah, I kept walking. I have to tell you the number of jobs that they're talking about quiet quitting. I don't know if you're familiar with this. It's hysterical to me that they're calling it quiet quitting, which is where people they're not taking calls before or after work. They're not doing things that are outside the scope of what they have agreed to, all these other things. And I guess that's different than ghosting and not just showing up. But I'll tell you something. I worked at so many different restaurants that I would just walk out in the middle of the day and not tell anybody, that I'm afraid to go into some restaurants because I'm pretty sure I still work there. I have easily maybe $86 in unpaid checks from being a server. And that's from 45 different jobs. Because they only paid us $2.05 in the 90s and the early 2000s. And I really, because you can never, the hardest jobs I ever had were in retail and at restaurants. I could be working at one table and have everyone tell me I'm the greatest server they've ever had. They'll ask me to sit down, say that, you're great. You're the kind of person that we could see being friends with. And I walk over to another table and this woman's like, this is the worst service I have ever had. And I was like, why don't you come sit with these people? They have a different opinion. Maybe it's just the vibe you get from. I mean, and anybody who's worked in retail or in a restaurant industry will tell you that you could have somebody or be very specific about an order: grilled onions, blue cheese, lightly melted, not completely melted. The bun has to be toasted. They want the guacamole on the side. Whatever it is, they will give this entire list of things. And you write it down. I was a writer. I like writing it down. I'm not one of those people who's like, yeah, I got it. No, I'm not one of those servers. I was a write it down, being specific. And I would come back with their order exactly the way they want it. And they would be like, that's not how I ordered it. And like the fact that these people did not wear their food on the way out the door was unbelievable. Like the reserve that I had. I remember one time I literally chased this guy out of Bennigan's because he left me 38 cents in tip. And I know I did a good job. I'm a good server. And I chased this guy down and he was with his daughter. And I gave him back his change. I said, here, you left your change on the table. And he said, you're embarrassing me in front of my daughter. And I said, no, you did that yourself. There came a point where I just didn't care. I did that repeatedly. That was my thing. When if somebody, especially if they tried to pretend like they're doing, like being a big person. I used to be a cocktail waitress at a place called the Cactus in Chicago. It's by where all the Board of Trade and like all these, stock exchange people would go. And this girl was trying to be a show off. She bought a round of beers for everybody and told me to keep the change. So it was one of those, keep the change. And it was 25 cents. And I gave it to her and I said, you need this more than I do, which was my favorite thing to say to people. If you go out and you don't have enough to tip, you don't go out. It's the nature of I get it. In other countries, they don't have to tip. Maybe you saw Reservoir Dogs and you love Sammy. I'm not living out this fantasy with you people. I will judge a person by how well they tip. I dated a boy in high school. Let's call him Bobby because that's his name. Cordero. And we went to Carson's Ribs and he left a $2 tip on a rib dinner. And I was like, I was a virgin anyway, so it really didn't matter. But I knew for sure that was not happening. I really, but it is one of those things where my grocery store, the grocery store I used to work at, they just announced it's closing in Edison Park. I was a cashier there in 1988, and they're closing. And this is another place where all the women, all the cashiers, they all knew all the prices, and they knew I think I told this story before. So if I have already, I had a woman complain. So they knew all the prices. I did not. I had to look everything up. I didn't know what was on sale. So I was ringing this woman up. And the thing was that if you push the button for taxes, you might have a different tax on food, and you might have a different tax on cleaning products. So this woman gets mad. She's like, by the way, I don't know why all the women in my head sound exactly the same. I should make her sound different. She's like, I think you ring me up the wrong way. There, I like that one better. I think you overcharged me. So that's actually kind of how she sounded. And my mom happened to be there. And my mom was standing there and she watched as my manager re-rang every single thing in this woman's cart. And it turned out that I had undercharged her. The reason I'm repeating this story possibly is that before then, my mother was the worst customer. Maybe that's why I have zero time. Oh my God, she was the worst customer. She would anytime I would walk into a restaurant, she'd be like, why am I sitting by the windows? Do you want me to get a draft and catch pneumonia? Why am I sitting by the windows? And then if they don't sit her by the window, she's like, why can't I sit by the windows? Don't you want people walking by knowing you have Mexicans in your restaurant? And if she sits too close to the kitchen, she's like, oh, why am I sitting with the doors banging on it every time someone walks in and out? Why am I so close to the kitchen? Did you want me to do the dishes while I'm here? I mean, it was insane. Oh my God. I don't think I ever told you guys this. So at my wedding, we hired this great Swedish caterer. Yes, Irish and Mexican. Let's get the Swedes to do it. I'm just saying they good roast beef. So we hired this, and the reason we had to hire them was because the Mexican caterer that my mom wanted refused to get insurance for off-site catering. So yeah, I'm not gonna hire somebody who might give everybody food poisoning. How was Patty's wedding? Well, I lost 15 pounds. Didn't get off the pot. So we hired this Swedish caterer, and it was great. It was a buffet style, and I didn't want anything fancy. I didn't want an expensive wedding. And what I didn't know was that my dad went around and gave every server an envelope with $40 in it to tip them out of his own pocket, because my mom was paying for most of the wedding. Long story. It was fun. Anyway, so my mom was following my dad around, grabbing the envelopes and taking 20 out of.
Oh my
Now
goodness.
that's the part that I knew about. So several years later,
Wow.
I'm like, yeah. So that's the part I knew about. I don't know what happened next, but I wanted to hire that caterer again because they make really good roast beef. So, and lingonberry sauce. Anyway, so I go to that caterer to tell I want to hire her for my son's baptism, for Griffin's baptism. And I was trying to tell, I was like, oh, I don't know if you remember, I had the wedding at the Glencoe Women's Library Club. And she goes, oh, I remember you. You had the worst mother of the bride I've ever had. And I was like, yeah, I could see that. And I was like, I'm sure it's entirely true. I have no doubt. And I'm not hiring you. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that information? You hated my mom. You're going to come into my house. And like, now it's going to be a fight. Like, now I have to know like what else happened, but I can't ask my mom because then she's like, I didn't do anything. And then like, now I'm the horrible person. Anyway, she was probably why I learned how to be a much more patient person in general, not with customers. I didn't have time. I worked in retail. I worked at the Gap for the discount and Marshall Fields. Basically, when you work at a store for the discount, you're basically just you're not really taking home any paychecks, and you don't learn any good people skills, like, because they always have like these big goals for how much you should sell, and they had these big signs in the back that said "keep pushing till they say no twice," and I thought, that's not a sales technique, that's a fraternity slogan. So and the way they train you to be pushy, like I was, and I talk fast. You guys all know that. And I got like all these voices in my head, and they all come out at the same time. So like, instead of like pacing myself with the questions you're supposed to ask, I'd always be like, "Hi, can I help you? Is it for work or play? What size do you need? Here's our dressing room for you. Is everything okay in there? No, you're in there. Come on, let's see how it looks." Just sliding my head under the door. Cash or charge. I mean, I was the worst sales girl. I was horrible. I loved being a lifeguard. That's probably my second favorite job. But I wasn't very good at it because every time someone would start to drown, I'd be like, oh my God, I just had lunch. Gotta wait at least a half an hour. I mean, I don't want to get a cramp or anything. I mean, I do have this whistle. I guess I could call somebody, but that seems like a lot of work. I had so many different jobs and have had so many different experiences that I definitely prefer doing stand-up comedy. And the thing about, let's go back to 24/7. I think that model, that business model, has screwed us all up. Nothing needs to be open 24/7. No one needs to be anywhere at that time of night. Nothing good happens after midnight. We all know that. And yet they are with those taquitos rolling on that spinny thing and the hot dogs that have been there for 3 days. What I'm saying is, really what I wanted to tell you is, no matter how hungry you are, do not eat the rolling taquitos at 7-Eleven, and definitely don't buy sushi at a Walgreens. Why are we eating sushi at Walgreens? Oh, I'll bet they've got the masters of Japan making them for Walgreens. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I probably should run back to my family. Thanks.
Patti Vasquez!
Oh, yeah.
That was so good.
It was amazing.
That's so good. Remind us where we
Thank
can
you.
find you in real life.
I will be, let's see. Oh, I'm going to be hosting a show at the Laugh Factory on September 25th. I know I have other shows before that. Oh, I'm going to be at Whiskey Acres again on September 14th.
I've heard
So
good
that's
things
probably
about that
DeKalb,
place.
Illinois.
I was there for about 10 seconds once.
Wasn't it pretty?
It was really nice. Yeah, I don't know if everybody knows. I showed up to do a gig, and immediately that's when I, on my phone, found COVID positive. I'm going to drive back to Nashville.
Aw.
It was super
Yeah,
sad.
it was a severe
We were
bummer.
so close.
I was there. I was not
know.
close. I was there. But at least
We're
I
doing
didn't
a show
infect anyone.
together. I mean, we hadn't done a live show yet.
I'm sorry. Say again. You were breaking up.
I'm gonna run.
Oh no,
We
we lost
do a
her 'cause
live
you-
show. We've never done a live show together.
One of these days. One of these days it's
Oh,
going to
no.
happen. And speaking of live show, I think we just
One of
lost
these
Patty.
days.
Clap for Patty as if she's still here.
Yay!
Yay! You know, I like this thing where she's the headliner. I think that works.
That was fun.
A little slanty. Okay, so now the trick is, what do we do now? Because it's time for the Patty Melt. I had a thought while this is all happening. See what you guys think of this.
It's time for some selling out. With advertisements, advertise. Is your apartment full of pests? Are bugs and rodents building nests? Call A-Alert, because they're the bestest. That's A-Alert at 773-348-3337. Yeah.
In the Chicagoland area, you got to call Kevin and Liz. You want to give
Thank
those
you,
bugs,
Steve.
give those bugs the biz, call Kevin and Liz. You want to send them rats to heaven? Call Liz and Kevin. I got 1 million of these. That's what
Play
I'm
us
here
a song, Steve.
I think I will. My job is melting now, is to come up with something melty. As Brad said in his monologue, the lovely or talented Sarah Palin lost in her bid to be a new senator, a U.S. senator from Alaska. She lost to Mary Peltola, making Mary the first Alaska native to be elected to Congress. As you may recall, 14 years ago, in 2008, Sarah and John McCain lost to Barack Obama, making Barack the first African-American president. So,
That's right.
Sarah, would you please run every year? Every time you run, a new ceiling is broken in the progressive movement in this country, that somebody way more deserving than you can hold office. Thank you very much. And in honor of that, I wrote a song and made a video for Sarah way back in 2008. I'm going to play it off of YouTube. I'm sorry the video won't be particularly crisp, but the audio is kind of fun, and I hope this will actually work. Let's see if I can do this properly.
The GOP nominee has picked his running mate. She's quite renowned in her one moose town in her frozen northern state. She's as moral as they get. She's Johnny's special pet, and as pissed off as she makes me. Let's get one thing straight, I'm thinking about nailing Sarah Palin. Wanna do some humpback whaling, as clever as she's not. Dang, that girl is hot. All that rhetoric she's spilling gets me thinking about offshore drilling. Evil turns me on, and that is one wicked hockey mom. I'm thinking about nailing Sarah Palin. Nothing gets me hotter than polar bear slaughter, as we wipe out every otter with tons of oil in the water. Put that former beauty queen in a Hummer limousine, add some Vaseline, and send in the Marines. I'm thinking about nailing Sarah Palin with her leather leggings flailing. I've been screwed by politicians, but never with my permission. And though her politics are chillin', I find her booty thrilling. I Googled her today, and I'm emailing to say I'm thinking about nailing Sarah Palin.
What is it exactly that the VP does?
Sarah, I'm hunting you like the mighty caribou. I'm bringing up my pipeline. You bring the harp seal stew. Oh, baby, I'm thinking about nailing Sarah Palin. I hear she likes inhaling and making babies by the score, then sending them off to war. That policy reformer makes the planet much, much warmer. So I'm writing to inform her that I'd like to desert storm her, and that means nailing Sarah Palin. I don't expect a politician to stick with one position, but I really didn't expect the Alaskan Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Alaskan Inquisition.
She don't believe in birth control as she climbs my Gallup poll. And I'm thinking about nailing Sarah Palin.
That was my favorite song off of Brother, Can You Spare $700 Billion?
That one sure didn't age well, I gotta say. Man,
it's funny.
I'm very, very
so
embarrassed
funny.
about that. Let's get rid of that right now.
And you
before
know
it's
what?
so funny.
It's still funny.
Thanks. I'm glad you like
Very
it. I
funny.
feel very weird right now. All
Hey,
right.
well,
Makes it ageless.
hey, I was married to a sailor. Nothing shocks me.
Oh, good. That's what I wanted to hear. All right. Now, this is the part of the show where normally Brad begs for money. Well, Brad ain't here, so I'm going to beg for money. Hey, everybody. I'm Brad Tassell. And I'm somewhere And we need your money. We need some money so that I can get a job that doesn't require me to be in the middle of the ocean half the year. We need money for Patti so that when she does her performance for our show, she doesn't have to be looking like she's on the cover of a Beatles album from 1965 to 1968. We need some money for John Trentes so that he can stop hiding in his basement. Which is where, as far as I know, that's where he always is now. He's got to get out. We got to get him out. So if you wouldn't mind, if you got a few bucks to spare, go to www.virtualcomedyshow.com. That's virtualcomedyshow.com. Find the button that says donate to the comedians. All the money that comes in, we split it amongst everybody who is here tonight. And since I was doing triple duty tonight, I'm going to keep all of it. No. No. There's 4 of us. There's Brad, there's me, there's John, and there's Patti. It will be divided evenly as we do every week. We want to thank our very, very all the time sponsors, Kevin and Liz and Alice and Janice and T and everybody who I'm forgetting right now who have sent in money as the weeks go by. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep going. Whether we each get $3 or we each get $100, we're always happy that you support us by being here and by throwing money our way. So that's virtualcomedyshow.com. Click the button that says donate to the comedians. Now, I am supposed to play another song at this point, and I kind of burned myself out between making fun of United Airlines and Sarah Palin. So I'm thinking we might make it a request hour. Whoever can yell out a request first, I'll see if I can play it. Anybody got something they want to hear right now?
Oh, wait.
Hold on, you can think about it. Let me
What's
play
in
this.
my hot dog?
Go back to the US
Song from Steve for no
we forgot about that. I heard Uncle Walter say the hot dog song, and then someone else echoed it, I think. Should I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, and I heard Ned Beatty.
Works for me.
I don't know if I can do them both. We'll do the hot
Go
dog
straight,
song.
take a left, go straight.
Well, they kind of do go together.
Well, they all go together in the sense that they're all incredibly stupid. So yes,
Okay.
if that's the case, I'll do my entire catalog. Who has the time? Let's do the hot dog song.
I think time.
No one seems to know. No one seems to know. No one seems to want to know. But I want to know. I need to know. Oh, I gotta know. What's in my hot dog? 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 No one seems to know. Everybody, no, not just me. Just me. What's in my hot dog? What's in my hot dog? What's in my hot dog? No one seems to know. That's a good idea. When I say everybody, just mime it. Don't actually make sounds, but I like to see you singing along without screwing up the Zoom audio. All right. There's earlobes, eyelids, elbows, and fingertips. Dog nose, pig glands, frog bits, and chicken lips. Hog butts, peanuts, cow guts, brains. Toad jam, turkey spam, varicose veins. Everybody, what's in my hot dog? What's in my hot dog? What's in my hot dog? No one seems to know. Funny, because it's true. What's in my hot dog? What's in my hot dog? What's in my hot dog? No one seems to know. Boy, it sure appears I got some sun today, doesn't it? Man, I'm as red as this shirt. Now comes the gross part. There's moose, colon, horse splatter, anything that goes splatter. Half a ton of puppy tongues, bucket full of camel lungs, big hairy goat tails, dirty doggy toenails, stuffed with fabulous, edible, delectable, deep fried, something died. Intestinal shell, intestinal shell. Uncle Walter's losing his mind. Now I know what's in my hot dog, what's in my hot dog, what's in my hot dog. I was better off not knowing. Now chunks I will be blowing, and cookies I'll be showing. I said that. My insides will be showing. That's what I'm saying. I guess I didn't really need to know what's in my hot dog. What's in my hot dog? What's in my hot dog? I think I got a fever. I'm feeling kind of strange. My head feels like a whoopee cushion. My hands are a little clammy. I really want to die. Maybe we should take you to the hot dog factory, Alice. You could be the secret ingredient. Yeah. Thank you very much. That is quite enough of that. Thank you all for being here. It's time as we wrap this up for the worst joke of the week. Here we go.
Worst joke. Worst joke. Worst joke. Worst joke.
Boo! That was the worst joke ever.
Once again, Gonzo is my favorite part of this show every single week. And he's only on screen for 2 seconds. Brad sent in a worst joke, and I got to admit, it's pretty terrible. But we were in Scotland for
Hey!
What? Was that Brad I'm hearing?
Who's that?
The ghost of Brad.
It's not terrible.
It's the worst. So
Okay,
it's
go
not
ahead.
the worst. Mine is worse, and I think you'll agree because you were the one telling me to tell this to everybody. So I'm going to go with this. We thought up a bunch of stupid Halloween jokes when we were in Scotland, yelled them at people on the street, trying to get them to come see our show. Here's the worst joke of the week. Why did Frankenstein keep wetting the bed?
Why?
Because the doctor installed a pea brain.
It's the worst joke of the week. A couple was caught this week having sex in the stadium at a Toronto Blue Jays baseball game. The couple was ejected from the park, and many spectators said this was the first time someone was out after they only saw 2 balls.
Very merry Thursday, it's a special time of week. When Thursday bells are pealing and life no longer seems so bleak. Let's open up our presents and carve our Thursday goose and wait for Father Thursday to arrive upon his moose. You know, we tried to incorporate all the wonderful family traditions that people associate with Thursday. Thursday comes but once a week, but do not shed a tear, 'cause there are more than 50 Thursdays packed in every year, and every single one of them is full of mirth and glee. So stuff your face and break some wind and join the revelry. Have a very merry Thursday, put on your orange fez, and decorate the Thursday tree with milk, bone, spam, and pez. Once you've curled your mustache and donned your Thursday clothes, I'll catch you 'neath the mistletoe and punch you in the nose. Merry Thursday!